Hey guys, Pawnce here on the PvE, here to show you a preview of Xayah, the new AD carry, which was just released as a pair with the new support, Rakan. So if you want to check out what Rakan does, check my channel. Probably I'll put a thing in the annotations or end screen, whatever, at the end of the video. But for now, we're looking at Xayah, the new AD carry. So quickly going to read over what her abilities do, then I'll show them off, and etc., etc. First, starting with Clean Cuts. After using an ability, Xayah's next 3 basic attacks will hit all targets along their path and leave a feather for 8 seconds. The main target of her empowered attack takes full damage and on hit effects, while other targets take 50% damage. Xayah can store up to 3 or 5 empowered attacks. Next, we have Double Daggers. This is her Q. Xayah throws 2 knives, dealing a certain amount of physical damage and leaving 2 feathers. Targets hit after the first take 50% damage. Next, Deadly Plumage, the W. Xayah creates a storm of blades for 4 seconds that grant her 50% attack speed and cause her basic attacks to strike an additional time for 20% damage. If Deadly Plumage strikes an enemy champion, Xayah gains 30% movement speed for 1.5 seconds. And here's the whole interplay with Rakan thing. Again, they're designed to work well together, but they don't necessarily have to be played together. If Rakan is nearby, he will also gain the effects of Deadly Plumage. That's actually kind of handy, and not so much for the damage portion, but like, yeah, I guess the speed buff and stuff like that. But anyway, Xayah calls all feathers as her next ability, Bladestorm, back to her, dealing physical damage to enemies they pass through, increased by critical strike chance as well. So it has AD scaling and critical strike chance scaling. Hitting an enemy with 3 feathers roots them for 1 second. Minions take 50% damage from Blade Caller, because I guess they don't want you absolutely gutting minion waves. Next, her ult, Featherstorm. Xayah leaps into the air and becomes untargetable. She then rains down daggers, which deal 200, or at this level 200 damage plus physical damage with AD scaling, leaves behind a line of feathers. Xayah can move while in the air. So let me just show you what the abilities actually look like. Here's the Q. They're just going to get shot off like that. Deadly Plumage, if I don't use it against anything, what it looks like there. Next, Blade Call. Actually, Blade Call is going to look like this. So basically, you got to put things down like this. I don't have cooldowns right now, so I can keep firing this stuff off. But and then you draw them back, and everything takes damage on the way back. Lastly, this is her ult. Watch, she's going to leap into the air, briefly becoming invulnerable, and then throw shit all over the place. So you can also move while doing this, by the way. You can't actually cast other spells or anything, but yeah, you're just untargetable. And as you can see, the feathers will stick around for a little bit, but they eventually do fade. I believe it's 8 seconds or something. Yeah, 8 seconds. Oh yeah, let's use the W here. So you see,
move your feet or lose some toes.
You'll throw feathers through the thing, and you get an extra little, like, tiny little bit of extra attack that shoots off. I guess it acts kind of like, almost a little bit like, what's that item called? Runans, except it targets the main target again. So actually, I guess it's more like kind of Lulu passive or something like that. Anyway, the reason I have all these stupid items here is I was wondering how much damage I could deal to a single target if I just spam the ult and got a billion feathers there. So it can deal quite a bit, but of course you're never going to be able to do that in a real game. Not that many feathers anyway.
Just seem to find me.
Now the ult doesn't deal a crippling amount of damage on its own, but you got to remind you can kind of draw the feathers back for extra damage. It roots people and makes you invulnerable. So anyone targets you with anything while you're doing this, they're just not going to hit. So that's pretty useful for an AD carry. Her mobility obviously doesn't have a dash and whatnot, so that could be, well, that is fairly limiting. But you know, you do get at least a movement speed buff with the W, and technically has a root, so if you can root people, you can get away that way. Playstyle wise, I haven't really played her in a real game yet, or rather I haven't, so it's hard to gauge exactly, but she kind of makes me think of a weird mix of well, I don't know, I guess really the closest thing I can think of is maybe Kalista, not like exactly, but Kalista with sort of like almost what's that guy called, like Talon thing kind of going on. But anyway, that's the character Xayah. Of course, she's once again she's being released simultaneously, as far as I'm aware, with Rakan. Supposed to work together, but they don't necessarily have to be together. Right. So I'm off to go get some actual gameplay footage of this stuff for you guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the channel, twitch.tv/Pawnce. Of course, I'll be streaming this a good amount. So if you click on the link below in the description, go to my Twitch channel. It's a good chance I'd probably stream in one of these characters. Anyway, see you around. Thanks for watching. Bye.